Does your home feel cluttered, but you know that some of those items have value? Selling unused items might be a great place to start. Hi friends, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about selling some items to declutter, what I do to sell items, what I don't do to sell items, and how to keep it from being overwhelming. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jen. On this channel, we talk about finances, frugality, decluttering, and minimalization. And yes, I have a dog that bothers me all the time. You gonna lie down so I can do this video? One of the first things that I'm gonna go over is why would you want to sell items when you're decluttering? Well, if the item has value, that's one way to make a little extra money. It can often help you to motivate to let things go. And it also gives that item a second life. With the money that you get for selling the item, you can start to rebuild your finances or pay off some debt. The thing with selling unused items is that it only works if it's manageable. When you're thinking about decluttering, look at your items that you want to get rid of and see if they're worth selling. That would be something that's in good condition, has a pretty high value. Maybe people are looking for them. I also look to see, is it going to be easy to list somewhere and is it worth my time? Those are the big things there. Because if it's not worth your time, you're probably better off either donating or throwing in the trash. Things that fall under that category, at least for me, are furniture items, maybe some appliances if they're in good shape. It's something like a TV if it's not too old or outdated. I generally don't try to sell things like clothes. I find that they just don't sell very well. And when I sell items, generally I'll put them on Marketplace or Craigslist. Another place you could use would be, say, a consignment shop. There are no consignment shops in my area, so that's not an option for me. And I believe there are, in some areas, you could have a buy and sell group, maybe a front porch forum if that is in your area. I know my parents have something similar to that, where I believe it's like a local newsletter that goes out. When I look at places to sell items, it's places that are low stress for me, that is not going to be too much of a pain in the ass. When I am selling items, I will set limits so that I don't get overwhelmed. These limits might look like a timeline for selling them. So how long I'm going to post them out there, and say if it's Marketplace, how many times am I going to refresh it before I just delete and chuck the item or donate. I will set a price that I want to sell the things for, and then maybe set a minimum price. So if somebody wants to buy something and says, will you take, this much for it? It's going to be either a yay or a nay. I also like to try to move items out of my house if I can. If I have a safe, a lot of times I'll put them in my garage or a safe place to put them. I currently have a bunch of candles listed on Marketplace. I don't think those would be good to set out in my garage because I don't want critters to get into them. But if I was to, say, put them into a tote and then put them in the garage, I might do that and consider that. So they're out of the house. Some things that I've found that can help you out if you are thinking about selling some of your unused items, definitely set a limit. If it's out on Marketplace for more than a couple months, either trash it or donate it somewhere that would actually take it. Then it gets out of your house. The whole point with decluttering is to remove the items from your house. One thing that I do to keep things from being overwhelmed and too much of a pain when using something like Craigslist or Facebook is, first of all, if it's a small item and I can meet somebody easily somewhere, I'll do that. Otherwise, they have to come pick it up. I'm not entertaining driving all over the North Country to deliver items to random places. even meeting up with people is sometimes they just forget and don't show up. If you're going to meet somebody somewhere, I suggest messaging or emailing or whatever in the morning. Let them know that you're going to email them in the morning to confirm the time and place to meet up for the item, and then do that before you leave in enough time before you leave your house, so that if they don't bother to respond or if they cancel on you, you're not sitting at the meeting place waiting for them to show up. I've done that, and after doing that one time, I was kind of like, nope, no, bro, you're going to have to come up here to get this thing. It was a small item, but I'm not driving back down street to get rid of it. I also find that a lot of people on Craigslist and Marketplace will say, is it still available? And then you say yes, and you never hear back from them. Don't continue to reach out to them. And even if they say, oh, we're going to come pick it up such and such a date, I will reach out to them one time and say, hey, it's still available. Are you interested in coming out? And if they don't respond, I don't push it. Sometimes when you get a lot of hits and a lot of queries on a particular item, I have found that it's easiest to, I believe if it's Facebook, they have something that says something to the effect of it's in talks or something along those lines. I pretty much will say, the item might be sold. I'll let you know if it's still available after the weekend or something like that. Or I'll say something like, as of right now, it may be sold. If the listing is still available after the weekend, it'll be there, and then I'll reach out to somebody that was actually interested. I find that when you get multiple queries on an item, that's when it kind of gets overwhelming. I had a listing on Marketplace for a motorcycle at one point in time, and I had so many random queries about it that it became clear to me that I had to go with the first person that came and got the item and paid for it was going to get it. That's why I developed a strategy for myself to let them know that if it is still available at a certain date, that I will let them know. That gives the person that was originally interested in it enough time to decide whether they want it and to come get it. And if they don't come get it within that time frame, it's going to go to somebody else unless they reach out to me and say, hey, I couldn't make it. Can I get there in such and such a time? Decluttering by selling can be a great way to get rid of things and get yourself a little bit of income or whatever you want to call it. But making sure that it is not overwhelming is a big thing. Once it starts to get overwhelming, maybe you might feel like it's best to just donate the item or throw it in the trash. And remember that with decluttering, the goal isn't necessarily to make a profit or anything like that. It's to declutter and de-stress your space. I feel like sometimes we attach a lot of value to our items, even though they may or may not be valuable to somebody else. And that's okay, but set clear limits as to how long you're going to value this item before donating it or throwing it away. Thanks for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below what items you guys sell, or do you not sell items? How do you get rid of items that you want to declutter in your home? Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. See you in the next one.